Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Be Peachy, a refreshingly unique black tea. Be Peachy combines robust Assam tea with real peach and apple pieces, organic elderflowers, and maple-noted bee pollen for an exceptionally anytime tea. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Yo, what's good, man? It's Franofromdanorf.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
My Tinder profile, all right, so don't holler at me yet. I'm a producer, engineer, musician, done as much as I can in music, but based out in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
And what got you into music initially?
Man, I can tell you so much, but the first thing that goes to my mind, I think in movies, I just watch cartoons, movies, whatever. It's always the music they have.
Interesting.
And my family's music too when I was a kid. So that's where it all started.
And what, were they musicians, or did they just have a big appreciation for music?
My dad plays guitar. Matter of fact, yes, I do have musicians. My family they're from Guatemala, so they play a lot of marimba.
Okay.
A lot of marimba, a lot of dancing.
Yeah.
That's the earliest thing I can remember, just my parents playing their home recorded from where they're from, sending over so they can play in the stereo. And it started with that.
Oh, yeah.
And then started watching a lot of movies, a lot of cartoons. And for some reason, I always liked the music. If I see a keyboard, I would try to mimic the sound off. Started as a kid. I just had an ear for music for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like it was definitely always around you all of the time.
Around me. And
well, it's cool your family was sending each other music that they made too. That's an interesting dynamic to have really early on, just the presentation of created music.
You know what's funny? I never brought that up ever about any music conversations. Now that I just think about it, I was like, yeah, we used to send each other mixtapes.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, through any ways to deliver mails. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that shit just hit me right now. What the fuck?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's how it really started, and then.
I mean, that's a solid way to get into music for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Yeah.
And then for this next one, these next two questions are ones that we ask every episode, just kind of have fun with. And this first one, it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Man, it's funny because I can remember. I can remember it was during when Apple had his own thing. So this happened at least 10 plus years. EOM. It was an EOM as a producer.
Okay.
Damn, I can't remember this album because I can just remember the pictures. The picture of was like a form of interesting pictures. It's funny because I bought it because it was a support of a producer that nobody really known at the time. And I was like, screw it. It's only this much. And it's the only Apple Music I bought album-wise too. Because I never really bought anything for myself ever since I started working. If I could have, I would have bought a lot of CDs. Yeah. But I burned them. File on burned them, everything, make my own playlist. But I would say this is the first album I ever bought with my money. It's an EOM producer. Rest in peace, EOM, by the way, too. He was I known him because of the rapper Wax.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
And then what was the first live show you ever went to? That was one you wanted to go to. It's not one that you just got dragged, took to.
Man, it's kind of a little bit of both, to answer. It's kind of both because my family got tickets to see Los Tigres del Norte. Those who know, it's it's a Mexican band, norteño music. And I kind of got dragged because no one could have babysit me because the whole family was going. But I knew the band, I knew the music, and when I went, I had a blast. Matter of fact, I went in for free because children under like 10 was free.
Oh man, I miss being a child under 10. Yeah,
it was a little both. I was dragged, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I was like, yo, those are the band I was even watching play live, like in TVs and hear the music every single day, and it's like, yo, that's crazy. But to add on top of that, the concert I wanted to go, it was actually Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of my
okay.
I wanted to go to.
When was that?
Like 2011. There was an album they dropped. It was 2010. Excuse me. They were touring for it wasn't the Poison. It was
would have been the one right after that, wouldn't it?
2 albums after that. The album
okay. Oh, 2 albums after that. Okay.
Album after Screaming Fire.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it just went bland in my mind.
No, you're totally fine. I mean,
it was a picture of the lady with the crab covering her breast like that. Whatever. It was random, but it was one of my favorite albums at the time.
I mean,
weird how I don't remember
they were a really cool band.
Yeah,
do they still play now?
Pretty sure they do. Okay. But
I mean, Attack does, so they have to.
The last album I heard of Bullet was like Venom. After that, I just kind of left that scene. I was like, I'm not really into it as I used to, but I would still play their music now.
I bet that was do you remember who they were touring with?
It was Escape the Fate. That was one of them.
Okay, yeah, that was definitely a good show then for sure.
Crazy because I went with my mom because no one else went with me.
No, I get that. My the very first show I ever went to was Ozfest 2005.
It's already good. It's already better.
And it was up in Seattle. My mom took me because my dad wouldn't let me go down where I lived in the Bay Area.
Oh,
so
shit,
I get that.
Yeah, but I had a blast. I mean, I did for sure. I don't know where my mom was at the time.
I mean, I'm sure she was happy you were happy.
I was in the front of a crowd, just sneaking my way in there. I was like, oh, I remember recording it in my T-Mobile phone. I had a gravity phone. If you had a gravity phone, if you know what it is, fuck you, because they were making fun of me because I was like, oh, that's a girly ass phone. I don't give a fuck. It was still cool. But I remember the quality.
Mm-hmm.
It was so bad, but I remember living through it. Like, I remember I was there. It was fucking amazing. And everything about it was fun.
No, that was a cool moment to have experienced for sure. Oh, yeah. And then we've got one more question in the foundation portion of this. Yeah. And like, obviously your experience with music has already been pretty broad from the beginning. Like, you've just had so much happening around you and got to be involved in it. But what was the defining moment where you decided you just wanted to make it a serious part of your life?
Man, that is a great question, because while I was making music, like playing music, it was like a wave up and down, up and down. Like I just started playing guitar, ended up performing. I wanted to keep doing it, but then I kind of lost the interest because nobody had the same interest in me, so I kind of stopped until that. A few times in high school, I wanted to make music with my friends, recording and everything. I was like, yeah, let's make projects for the school, let's make everybody go, and then died again. And it was after high school where I just started making beats, and then people liked my beats. It started with my friends, and then from there, my friends showed their friends and their friends. Everybody liked it, and then that's from just like, you know what, I should just start making beats for people just so they can like rap over it, and I'll do it for free. And I realized it was starting to build up a lot more. And this happened within the last 5 to 6 years ago. And that's where the journey really started, when I had my home studio. That's where I was like, I really love doing this. I really love making people feel like, yo, this is my song, or this is the song that you created or you put together. I'm just like, you know what? If I can get people to do that every single time, I wouldn't mind doing this forever. Because I love building that. The sound and the creation that they wanted for ourselves. And obviously they hit me up, or whoever is with me gave me that freedom creation. Also especially the confidence and everything, that trust in me. And that's where I realized if I can do it for a few more people, this is the road. This is what I want to do.
No, I love that.
And it's music too. I love music.
Yeah, it's like it's already something that you're so involved in anyways. Now you get to do it outwardly instead of just inwardly, and that's really special. That's an awesome thing to acknowledge and to act on. It's
really, really crazy, because at first I wanted it for myself. Where it's like I want to do this music. I want to make a living, but then I realized doing it by yourself is the hardest thing you can ever do.
Well, and it's just fun to do with and or for other people, like I think that, like I said this on so many episodes now, that music is collaborative.
It is very, very
and even if you're providing it to somebody to do something else with, you are still a part of that process. That song becomes partly yours.
So true.
Just in spirit.
So true. It's spirit, energy, vibe wise, whatever. Like I wanted to show people how to play instruments just so they can play with me. And fortunately,
yeah, now you just do all the instruments parts and let them do the stuff on top of it.
Yeah, and it was crazy because when I really think about it more, in the early years, I really just want to make music with people that likes the stuff that I do.
Yeah,
it started with rock, and then I just wanted, just because the live music is probably the best thing ever.
Live music is
the best.
There are very, very few experiences in the world that are like performing music in front of people. And like, especially when you can get them to move along with it, or like when you're feeling it and they're feeling it, there's a different type. It's crazy. It's like, it's crazy being able to connect with an uncontrollable amount of people all at once while you're doing the thing you love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That stuff like that, or like I have to show my homie who never played a drum or keys.
Mm-hmm.
It just starts with like, just do this, do that. That's it. 2 minutes straight. All right. And I just start ripping it with my guitar or whatever. And just start yelling, like as in the song. We're just making a song. He's like already feeling it.
Yeah.
It's going crazy. And then my friend was like, I didn't know you played drums. I was like, bro, I just taught him.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally just, that's what I'm like, I love. It's just like the effort. You don't got to try too much as long as you just keep up with me and each other.
Totally.
Do whatever.
And everybody's got music in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like whether they know it or not, whether they say they do or they don't, everybody has music in them.
And also, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Because I really want to.
Yeah, go for it.
I think one person that really like told me this, like you said, it's all it's in our heart. Like we have a beat, like our heart pumps. It's our beat, so it is already in us. That's
exactly
the rhythm. So it is. I definitely agree that music is in us. Like this is just the way how we express it.
Hell yeah,
express. Yeah.
All right, now let's go ahead and let's dive on into you in the present day. And we're going to get the super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
How do I pick the name? I love telling this story. I went to military school.
Mm-hmm.
My last name is Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
The cadres at the school, at the whatever military, they like to mess with you. Just to mess with you, just whatever. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's like really messed up. Like, you're messed up for saying that. But anyways, he wrote my name. He was writing my name because he looked at me. He's like, your name is too long. Frano, Frano. And I was like, the fuck? That's not my last name. And then the kid sitting next to me was like, Frano, that's a cool ass name.
Yeah. I
was like, you know what? It is a cool name. So I stuck with that for a little bit. So I started off with Frano. I was walking. I think I was still walking to school after I finished that program. I was walking one day with playing music, whatever, and it just hit me. Franofromdanorf. Why? Because I looked at the word north in the street I was at. And I put North because at the time I liked the song North by Vince Staples.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I think it was around like that album area where I was like listening to his album to where North hit me even more, because North is just already North. And put it together, it was like a tongue twisting. Franofromdanorf. Like, you say it in that specific way, there's no way around it, just Franofromdanorf. And it gives a little bit of like a flavor. So it just hit me. I was just like, you know what? I like that.
No, it definitely, it rolls off the tongue well. Like it's weird because when you look at it at first, you're like, there's a lot of and then because it's all kind of written out as one. But then when you, like, as soon as you sound out, you're like, and it has a really cool feeling. It has a cool sound to it.
It's exactly how I felt, because it's weird really making my own things and trying to express it, because I keep everything to myself, whatever I make.
Exactly.
Everything I do. And for some reason, I knew it was already a cool name. Like, it was a good idea. So when I tell people, they're just like, they do look at me weird, but when they say it.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as they say it. And also it's cool because, you're from up here.
Yeah.
So it's applicable. Like it's got some layers to it.
It's only right. Those people that really know me, like, they already know, oh yeah, because you're from North Side. And those who don't know me, they're like, what is North? Like, you from? Yeah, I'm from the North. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's really where it all came from.
Hell yeah.
It's random as fuck. Stupid random.
No, I love that. And now, usually this is where I have people break down like the writing process and things like that. But since you are more focused in the world of like production and engineering, I want to do a little bit of role playing. I'm an artist. And I walk into the studio and I want to work with you. So it's the first day that we're going to work together. What does that look like? What do you usually do to get started working with an artist?
Yeah, that's a good question. I love that question. Holy shit. It really depends. All right, first of all, I'm gonna start you like I don't know you at all. You come work with me. I was like, I need to get to know you first. Like, all right, like, what do you like to do? What is your favorite song? What is this? What is this song that's been making you want to make a song? And then they show me that song. They show me that. I listen to it. I start doing my homework and like mentally listen to the song. I'm like, okay, you want this? You need this. All right, let's do it. Let's start off with the drums. It depends. Let's go say like from scratch. Let's start with the drums, and then if they can feel the drums, that's over. Like that's already feeling it, feeling the vibes. Boom. All right. Do you like samples? Do you like keys, guitar, anything? Yes, I like this. All right, let's put it together. Hey, everything's going. And then they're writing whatever freestyling. It don't matter what the artist is doing. Once we get that momentum going, we can't stop. Yeah, we got to keep that going. So that's where my drive is. We're like, all right, now that we got a momentum going, now it's time to like really put in the creativity to bring it to life. Yeah, it starts with the vocal processing, and then from there, kind of just goes together. It's weird to explain. Yeah,
from there, it becomes a little more stylized based on the actual situation. But that I appreciate your approach being like getting to know them kind of on a personal music level before just being like, all right, what do you want to make? Like that's a really interesting approach. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then even like the building it in front of them and waiting until they feel the elements of the song of the track. That's really cool as well. I appreciate that.
I really think it's very, very important because to me, since I come from like doing everything myself, doing it with people, like I wanted to bring them along to the journey that we're about to create. So I need you to be with me as much as you with yourself. Because if you're not feeling it, I can't do much about it. Because I'm not going to push you for something that I want to do when I barely even know you.
No, I love that.
It goes so many ways because...
I mean, music is intimate. So like getting to know the person it can go a long way. Yeah.
I think what's really tricky is when people want certain things specifically. And that's where I stop and I was like, all right, if you want something specific, you probably might not like what I do because everything I'm doing is what I know how to do. I'm not trying to mimic anything, but it's the concept of what the song or sound sounds like. I'll do it my way. It's possible. And I think 100% of it really works out because they're not thinking about anything else other than the sounds happening in front of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where like most songs become successful because it's just literally just us two thinking about it and nothing else. And I started with like a song or a beat. We forgot about that song already, and now we're just working on the new one that we all put on the table. So
like they brought in a jumping off point and you're the one that's going to bring the actual idea in.
Yeah. So I think that's where it really works out a lot for
I love that.
All my sessions, yes.
All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to dive into more of the the technical side of things because I'm a little bit of a gearhead and an engineer person myself, and I'm sure some of the people watching are as well. First of all, what DAW do you use?
Man, I've done it. I don't want to say I've done it all, but I've done a lot. But my main DAW right now is Ableton.
Okay, hell yeah. Hey, me as well, Ableton.
Ableton gang.
Thanks.
Yeah, I like Pro Tools. I really do.
I think in a professional setting, which we'll dig into in a little bit for sure, but in a professional setting, it's important to know. Most of the big studios are going to be using them. So if you want to excel in the industry, you got to know how to use them. Like that's just a case in point.
I did a 2-hour YouTube session on how to do Pro Tools.
Yeah,
So I've been through it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then like what you don't have to tell us all the plugins you use, but what's your favorite plugin company?
That's a good one too. I've been using a lot of Waves. I like Waves. Okay, it's even though they just went through some bullshit. I don't know.
They're all kind of moving that direction.
I think that was some funny shit that really happened is because out of nowhere we're just like, so we're not gonna fuck with Waves anymore or whatever. But anyways, Waves is like something that I've been fucking with a lot.
No, Waves is huge for sure. Them, Universal Audio and FabFilter are those are the three main companies that I use for everything.
Universal, I'm just now getting used to all that.
They made the LA 2A free Like that when they first launched their like plugin like program for everybody, and I like it better than Waves. Sorry, Waves. Universal Audio's LA2 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, like that's true.
is like as a plugin, I think is a lot stronger, at least for what I'm looking for from it. So I switched over to that, but definitely Waves and FabFilter kind of power this thing otherwise for sure.
For sure, yeah.
And also there's like, especially Waves in particular, they've been around for so long. They were the first ones to offer a huge catalog of options. They were always bringing out new stuff. Like it was at the time they were kind of like the best option for most things. Like if you wanted to do most things, you got the Mercury bundle and you called it good. Or was it the Platinum? What was the biggest one?
What's funny?
It's been so long I can't remember. Yeah.
That when I saw the bundle packs, I'm not gonna lie, like I couldn't afford that stuff.
No.
And the reason why, like, quick little side story when it comes to Waves is that a pop-in engineer that I found on Twitter, he tweeted saying, "Fuck paying hundreds of $100s of Waves. Let me hook you up."
Yeah.
And I was just barely starting buying plugins, so I've already bought a few plugins and stuff. He sent me there's like a program to unlock all the Waves, and that because of that I have access to Waves.
Hopefully, allegedly.
But I would say it wasn't legit, but it worked. So most of the things has been really like working out for me.
I think
I didn't even buy most of it.
Yeah. Back in the day, I think that especially like cracked plugins and things like that, like they were how you figured it out.
Yeah.
Like trials didn't really do it the right way. They would never like.
That's true.
But I think as long as once you learn how to use them and you know which ones you want to buy, as long as you go buy hard copies of the things you actually use, then I think it's fine. I think now companies doing subscriptions is not a bad thing. I think they should do subscriptions for trials, and then they should let you buy the ones you like.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's really true. I learned that the hard way. When I first started making beats, I cracked the Fruity Loops. Because of that, it crashed my whole laptop.
Yeah.
And I learned the hard way. I'm just gonna buy everything.
Yeah, you got it.
Everything. I started off really, really well, and then until I got that license thing, where it unlocks the plugins. But because of that, if I come across something, if I have to rebuy it or whatever, I'm already ready to buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I think I look at it upon like that because I don't really like taking things that I didn't pay for or deserve to. I don't do that. I don't like doing that. I think as a person, it's just gonna mess me up and it's gonna like.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
That, I mean, the money should go to the developers who make the things so they can keep making the things. Like the reason there is all subscription based stuff now is because people were pirating plugins for so long and then not buying them once they figured out what they needed. So like it's a double-edged sword that if you look at both sides, it makes sense. It's frustrating on both ends because now they're less accessible as individual entities because of that. But if they had just been accessible to begin with, it wouldn't have been an issue. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think put it that way. Yeah, sure.
But we're not here to discuss the dichotomy of plugin usage. Let's get back into this. And before, because I definitely want to talk about, where you're currently at the moment. But before we dig into that, a couple more just fun gear things. What is your favorite microphone?
Oh,
and we'll say for one for vocals and one for like most things. So like we'll pick two.
Right now my favorite will have to be the 87 from not Waves. From Warm Audio.
Yep. Oh, you use Warm Audio's 87. Yeah, Interesting.
It's been doing me well for a really long time. And
I figured you just meant the Neumann, but that makes sense.
No,
so shout out to Warm Audio. They did some things for the music community that I don't think people are truly understanding yet.
True. You know what? I got like two compressors and the preamp.
Yeah.
That, and then I start my everything. My first mic. It's a AT20 from Audio Technica.
Okay.
Yeah, all around type of mic. So I use that for pretty much everything with vocals and try to record my own like sound using my hands, make my own drums somehow. But those are the two mics that I really like and I ever own.
Hell yeah.
So those are those two.
Definitely solid options.
There's a lot for me to work with, for me to really stick to what I really love. But those are the two that I really, really love.
Totally.
I start off with that. Did me like right the entire journey.
Yeah, no, I've always been partial to the TLM 49 for vocals. Like, that's I don't think anything sounds better on vocals, in my opinion. Like, I know the U87 is phenomenal, and
I've heard that a lot too.
Yeah, and like the Blueberry by Mike and things like, or by Blue and things like that. But yeah, TLM49 is my favorite vocal microphone.
I do want to try more of the SM7. I want to.
Well, the SM7B is my favorite everything microphone.
Okay.
Like that's the one. Like, if I only have one mic to use for everything on a project, it's going to be an SM7B because they're flat and they're malleable. I think it's not that they sound the best. Yeah. It's that they have the most sound in them to work with after.
Yeah.
So if I only have one mic, it's going to be a 7B. But if I could do any microphone on vocals, it'd be the TLM49.
Okay.
And then just kind of the last like experience question, because like I said, I do want to talk about where you're currently at. What was your like favorite day as an engineer so far?
Favorite day?
Yeah, so you've been doing this for a little while now. You've been working in your space for a little while now.
Yeah.
What's one that you remember that you were like, everything was just amazing?
I want to say my most recent studio session that I just had, because there's a lot of great days. There's totally great days, but I want to talk about a recent one. I just did a 10-hour studio session with artists who want to be part of this project that I'm working with. Shout out to Little Plane, shout out to Liddy B that made it happen. They brought in some they pretty much posted on the gram, hey, who wants to work with us? Do a 10-hour session. A couple of rappers from AMG, shout out AMG.
Oh yeah, shout out AMG.
Frano pulled up, Spencer pulled up. There's a couple more artists. Jump Out pulled up. Shout out to Jump Out. Man, there's so many rappers, so many talented rappers in the whole room that I can't say on top of my head. But that session was so good because it was one of my first sessions that I'm meeting like new artists. And I don't even know what to do. I didn't plan anything. I was like, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
No idea. First time ever too. And then just start off with a beat. And then like, that's what I normally do before a session. I just make a beat, start a beat, whatever. A couple of the artists came in and then, what beat is this? I'm like, oh, something to work on.
Oh, yeah.
I got something for it. They start throwing that out.
Jumping on it, yeah.
And then kept going a few more times. And then we do some of the artists like beats that they have and stuff. And hearing everybody's like music too. Because like I said, like most of these rappers I don't know. Because I'm still trying to get used to really being out there and working with everybody in town who I haven't heard of just yet.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I'm not open to it.
No, totally.
Anyways, it was such a great day that I forgot to eat. I forgot to get off from the chair. I forgot to even like a little bit of water or whatever, but it was just so good. It was fun. 10 hours went by just like that. I'm like, wow, like we made it through.
Oh yeah.
And we made so much music. We make at least like 6-7 songs in a session. And
nearly a whole album right there.
And that was a point too. And at least half, maybe less than that, are my productions. And it was just like there was a downtime where I was like, well, what's the next song? And then as some are going through YouTube, I just pull up like, I want to check through my stuff, and then pulled up my folder. The first beat, I only played one beat. I was trying to play at least like 10. The first beat, all right, put it in.
Yep.
I was like, shit. I mean, all right, let's do it. And then knocks it out just like that. And then another artist knocks it out just like that. Third song down, and then here I got a song for everybody. Back to back to back. We made one song with the whole art, like everybody in the studio made one song. Like that's gonna be the first track, by the way.
Oh yeah,
where everybody's in it, and that was like it was such a great day.
That's awesome.
It was really, really fun too.
That sounds like a rad time for sure.
I think any time that's like all day sessions are probably the best days for me.
Yeah, definitely. Me and the singer from one of my old bands, we worked on a project. He wanted to make a solo album.
Yeah.
And, like I had gear for recording, things like that. So he would come over like once or twice a week, and it would they were just these huge like writing and recording sessions. So like he would come up with concepts. He'd give me a moment to like figure out stuff to go along with it. But like same thing. It's just like by the end of the day, like you're tired. Like you feel it. Like you feel
definitely.
like you almost feel like you've been working out to a degree. But like it's just such a rewarding experience to like be like so much happened by the end of this day.
Exactly. I'm really fortunate to really have people to do that with me, and then give me like their trust for me to do that for them as well.
Oh yeah.
And I don't even think about the time. I just think about like the work we do.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't realize all that time just flew. I was like, oh shit, it's more than 10 hours.
Yeah.
Oh shit, like we're still here. Fuck it, you know.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, it was probably the best times for
I
sure.
love that. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about DBNations. DBNations.
Shout out DBNations, man. Shout out DBNations. Shout out Shone. Shout out Collab, Swanson. Shout out everybody, man. Shout out Noah, man. Y'all been really dope and putting me on some cool stuff for sure, man. The opportunity.
I got to give one extra shout out to Sean. He did some engineering for my old band's EP when I was in a band called Smooth Talk. Yeah, so that.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
oh,
and also him and I went to high school, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
so that was how I was connected to them to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
But what got you connected with them? How did you find them? How do you work with them now? How would that all happen?
Man, that's crazy. I have actually an artist, matter of fact, a few artists that go to DBNations and they record with Goodbye Collab. And one of the artists brought me into the session and then we kind of just talked. And I just asked him a question about studio, like ran hours, whatever. And then the first thing he said was like, we're actually looking for an engineer.
Oh, perfect.
And you're kind of a good fit. Like you're always in the studio, you're always doing this, and you seem like a solid person. I was gaslighted. I was like, oh shit, for reals? Like, wait, how? You know, like how type of shit. I just couldn't even believe it because I've been doing my own thing for a while, and I was just going out trying to connect with people. Actually, I've been going to different studios just to see. Like I've been to DB, I've been to Page One. I think there's only 2 studios and like personal studios. You know, even like B Major Engineering. Shout out to B Major. I see you doing his thing too. You know, got invited a couple to his studio, and I just kind of learned off how they do because I never really met any engineers that's doing the same thing as me, but at a different level. Anyways, back to Collab. He pretty much put me on, and then from there introduced me to Sean, and then from there is history. Like I've been there since like November. Like
hell yeah,
I would say it's my first professional engineering like type of job. I want to call it a job, but
no, I mean like it's a gig. You know what I mean? Like if you're getting paid to do something, it is a job. But you can love what you do. Like you're supposed to love what you do. So that's
for sure.
That's rad. I mean, it's such a good studio.
I love being there every single time.
Built well. It feels comfortable. Like even like the side rooms all feel really nice. The hangout area is really well put together, and the actual like the main booth itself, like the studio itself, like it just feels really good.
It's really unique to me. And at first, like I already have a personal studio that I created. And then the difference between those two is just like being at DBNations just makes you feel like, all right, it's time to really get down to the work and make shit happen.
You're using real stuff.
You know, using real stuff, and I learned a lot from everything I've seen. All the tricks they showed me, everything about it is amazing. And I think what makes it more like better for me, the feeling of it, is when people that makes music that never been to a pro studio, I'm like the opportunity where it's like, I can get you in pro studio.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start working there because the vibes. We're not recording in just one room with the mic in the same room. We have like a booth. We have everything. We have anything you need to get comfortable. I love bringing the people that I work with to another level that they never experienced. So, giving the opportunity to me is also giving opportunity to those who never had it.
Love that.
I really appreciate DBNations for that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, one more shout out to DBNation.
Real extra shout out for real.
All right, now we've got one last question to go in this middle portion, and this is probably the densest question in the interview. But we've talked a lot about, your experiences with music, the actions, the reactions. But when it's just you and music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Man, you got some real good questions. Like this is like you got me thinking of my life and everything about it since day one now. I feel like the one-on-one with music with me, man, it was there for everything I went through. Everything I went through from the lowest to highest, wherever. And me realizing how much I appreciate music a lot, and also just what it does for me is really makes me I would say it makes me who I am. Like, because everything what's involved in music, it makes me who I am. But to really answer your question, man, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
It did a lot. It's hard to break it down. Like,
I mean, you've been so immersed in it for so long. And I mean, I think actually the very beginning of your answer kind of sums it up really well, just saying how it's like, it's there for your lowest lows and your highest highs. Like, you know, it sounds like you were always attracted to music, like as a soundtrack, even like, you know, as when you were hearing in like cartoons and shows and things like that. So really it being present for your whole life is the thing it gives back to you, because it's almost like you've had your own soundtrack through life your whole time, and now you get to make other people's soundtracks for what they give to people to become a part of someone else's life.
You pretty much answered it for me. But literally in those words, probably the best way to really sum it up. But
no, I mean, music is a powerful experience just in general. So it's like, it's cool that you've gotten to experience it in the way you have for so long.
Yeah, but that really sums it up for sure.
Oh, yeah. But now let's go ahead and let's dive into some hypothetical questions.
Okay.
And these, the questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But if you could work with any one person, anybody, like sky's the limits as long as they're alive, who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Fuck.
I know. I feel like this question's always a little bit. It's always a little bit harder for engineers because really you can work with anybody. That's kind of the bit.
I mean, I haven't got to that type of mentality just yet, but
I mean, like the role of engineer exists in that space where like everybody who wants to put music out needs an engineer.
Yeah,
like so, like you can work with anybody.
Oh man. You know, I feel like I want to have those like big studio sessions with big artists, kind of like what J. Cole did with Dreamville.
Yeah.
He invited like so many artists and engineers, everything, just rented the whole studio, and just, I'll probably give you like a list of artists who I'll be in a room with. I'll start with J. Cole for sure.
Hell yeah.
I definitely want to make beats with Alchemists. Even rappers like I don't know if I said Kendrick. Did I say Kendrick?
No, but Kendrick's definitely.
Kendrick's dope. Actually, I feel like a Kendrick would be like a one-on-one thing, because I feel like we one-on-one any people around seeing that. I don't know.
He kind of operates almost all on his own anyway, so that makes sense.
You know what? I'll probably answer with that, starting with him, because I feel like we have to really deep dive. And also not really on that side with Kendrick, I would love to hear his thoughts and his creation.
I would definitely sit down in a room with that guy any day and talk shop.
And you pretty much felt like what I usually do with anybody I work with. I probably start with him, just because I already know the man been through a lot too, and just expressing his music. Yeah, and I want to see what I can feed out for, vice versa. I'm gonna start with him, but I think that's just making songs together. But if I want to produce with someone, I don't know why Alchemist is so tight to me. Oh yeah, Alchemist is so tight to me recently. Probably because he's been popping up a lot, and I play a lot of his music.
I mean, that's a solid choice for sure. I mean, all of those are solid answers for sure. Yeah,
so many, and you really fucked me up with this one too. There's so many, man. But I feel like, as to sum up everything, just have one big studio session. Just have like those, those artists invite and just make music. Oh yeah, that's the thing that literally sums up, because it's hard to really pick someone and really just do all that stuff with one person. But
I mean, like I said, all of those are super solid answers.
Yeah, I can give you so much list, but I'm gonna just leave it at that. Yeah, perfect. Just like that, yeah.
And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
Oh shit. First person in my head, I definitely want to work with Three-Way. I know Winnie's popping off. Yeah. I feel like I can make some dope shit with her for sure. Mike Capes. I definitely, I have some connection with him. We're kind of just rocking, like just flowing right now. But I definitely want to work with Mike Capes. Hell yeah. Those are the artists I have in mind right now.
Those are all super solid choices.
Those are like artists who I was like, I'm not really like pushing too hard,
but they're there.
But like, I want them to see like, like this guy's legit. He's been with this type of artist.
Well, everybody, you know what to do here. At them in the comments. Let's make it happen.
Hey man, if you want, if those people have been working with me, if you want to see me with this artist that I haven't heard of, or you never heard a collab with. The comments, I want to work. I definitely want to work. But yeah, those are the people who localize, and there's a few more too that haven't popped in my head yet, but
No,
those are the three
it's
mains
totally
right now, at least.
And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put an album out yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
MF Doom.
Hell yeah.
MF Doom.
Hell yeah.
MF Doom.
I mean, I'm sure there is one more somewhere.
There is one.
I'm sure there's just one that's been out forever that we haven't even discovered yet.
I'm kind of more like MF Doom, like how he was dropping, like after Food, like that type of album, like his first 3 albums, like, and Born Like This is cool. Born Like This was cool, but it wasn't like the first 3.
Yeah,
but straight's just MF Doom. Like,
hell yeah. No, I mean,
like not like Mad Villain. Mad Villain is his own like album. Like it's already like a great album. But
yeah,
with just MF Doom himself. Like
hell yeah. No, that's a solid choice.
First person in my mind. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start wrapping this up. What can we look forward to? What do you got? Do you have anything big that you can tell us coming up in the future?
Man,
I mean, obviously, you know, with people you're working with, and you gotta keep it under wraps.
I mean, you gonna like starting from here on out. I feel like you about to see my name pop up a little more. You might see my face pop up in more.
Oh yeah. Well, why don't you go ahead and look at the camera? Tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me in my Instagram, Franofromdanorf. Matter of fact, you can even Google me, Franofromdanorf. You see all my work. Right now, I'm in the process of having my own like website, have everything. Right now, I'm starting to brand myself, but for right now, you can reach me at Instagram, Franofromdanorf, or Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it. You can follow me there. But pretty much everything, Franofromdanorf.
Yeah. Any other plugs? Any other shout outs? Anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Man, shout out to everybody who I really like mentioned right now at the top of my head. Shout out Deadfellas. That's my crew. We dropping an album soon. Those who know, but if you don't know, it's Deadfellas all in one. Man, shout out everybody, man. I can't even think of the thought of my head right now.
No, you're all good.
Those who see me wherever I'm at, you know, shout out to everybody to make it happen.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody, yeah. Family, friends, everybody.
All right, now we've got one last question to go. But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Yeah, that's cool.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. But with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation. But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know. And like, think like Deep Cut. Think like, you can go back a little bit if you want for this one, but like, what's one that you're like, yeah, this one hits?
Oh my god. Fuck. My brain is like going through a lot of emotions, a lot of albums. Holy shit.
Just first one that pops in your head. Like, obviously, it doesn't have to be the best album in the world. Just like, what's one that you're like, yeah, this is a banger?
I think a mixtapes era. I don't know why. Like, mixtape era was great. So Faces by Mac Miller.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's probably the mixtape. Like, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll go start with that.
I mean, definitely a solid choice for sure.
It's a great one. But there's so like, damn, you fucked me up with that one too. Damn. Like, these are questions I never heard of from anybody and nor asked to me about. So I'm gonna start with that. Yeah.
I'm glad we got to do them today.
For that. Yeah, I love that.
But we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, thank you, man. This is my first time doing like a podcast interview, and this is dope. So
glad to have you on here.
Thank you, man. Thank you one more time.
And this has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy,
Franofromdanorf,
and we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.